Hello and welcome back. I hope that you guys have had an unbelievable week. Going from week to week, I decided that I wasn't going to let the excuse of not having any time take me away from the fact that I told myself I was going to show up not just for you guys, but for myself. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to the previous podcast, go and get some gems from those. But I am so super glad that you're here now. Now, you're probably noticing the change in my voice, right? And it's because I just decided that I was going to change my schedule around a bit to the point that it allowed me to give you more information in a timely manner, and for myself to make sure that I was really giving you guys most of me during the beginning part of my day. Because when I start to record these in the end part of my day, it's not that I don't give as much or give it with love, but I've already done a bunch of things, even before noon. So being able to give you guys fresh information straight from my mind, straight from feeling, powered and recharged from my morning routine, I think it's such key. And my kids are still asleep. So that is always a win for me. So I want to talk to you guys about this amazing commodity that a lot of people either take for granted or we fail to realize that we have. And that is the big T word, time. And I've realized that time is never the reason why you can't build something. Build your marriage, build your parenting skills, build your business, build yourself and get your own results and feel good about yourself. And I know, before you go and say, hey, Annabelle, you don't know my life, you don't know my schedule, you don't know what I've gone through, so you can't possibly tell me what to do with my time. I get it. I was there before, and I realized that the moment I started to take time to change, the quality of my thoughts, the quality of my life changed. So that's what I want you to start doing. Right? Number one is stop comparing yourself to someone else's life, to someone else's marriage, to someone else's body goals, to someone else's business, because comparison is such a thief. It's not just a thief of joy, but it's a thief of time. How many times have you spent countless minutes, hours, days scrolling through social media and wasting so much time where you could have used that time, that commodity, to build yourself, to build your marriage, to build your life, to build your business? So again, tell yourself right now, time will never be the reason why I can't build my life. And that's something that I started to tell myself a long time ago, especially when I started going from working for someone else to working for myself. I had no idea what to do with all this extra time. And then I had an epiphany with the help of my husband. And I realized, wait a minute, I just went from, working, quote unquote, my side hustle 1 hour a day to now having all this free time. And I actually felt worse. I felt worse because I didn't know what to do with it. I thought that I knew what to do with it, but I realized real quick that it wasn't a profit producing activity. And that the same goes for your life. The same goes for your life. So we're led to believe that, we have to have all this extra time on our hands to work out or eat healthy or feel good or be the best parent or no. Yes. Now, this isn't necessarily meant to, make you feel worse, because some people do work, 2 to 3 jobs. So you have to understand that you have to allow yourself to accept the fact that you are in your current circumstances. Once you can accept the fact that your circumstances are the way that they are right now, you'll actually free up space in your mind to give more with the time that you do have. For example, if you allow yourself 30 minutes a day to get a workout in, why do you compare yourself to someone that, is massively heavy in the gym, is in there 3 to 4 hours a day? Of course, their body is going to be different. Number one, that's a full-time job. For me, that doesn't apply. I will be at the gym 60 minutes, 5 to 6 times a week, and that is about it. I don't want to compete with anyone else because I don't want to be anyone else. When you can learn to accept the fact that you don't want to be anyone else and that you were made to be the person you are most likely going to allow that time that you have to be sacred. For example, if you're taking those 30 minutes and you're thinking while you're working out, wow, I have to do this, I have to do that, if I only had an hour, I could probably get to my body goals. You're robbing yourself of your peace and of your time, because you're comparing yourself to other people. You're comparing yourself to things that you could have, or places that you could be, instead of focusing that time on the here and the now and just being present and soaking that in and allowing yourself to not feel guilty, but allowing yourself to feel like, wow, I get to do this for 30 minutes and not interrupted. So I'm going to give you guys a tip. When you're doing anything on your will-do list, you guys know how I am about will-do list, not to-do list. And if you haven't done this yet, you need to make a will-do list and a will-stop list. I will stop wasting time. How? Maybe you want to feel better. Maybe you need to have more activity in your life. So instead of just coming straight in the house after an 8-hour, if you work at 8 to 5, you just take that extra 30 minutes, extra 45 minutes, and you get dressed at your job and you go outside and you power walk before you walk through the door. You're going to feel better. Trust me, I used to do it, and it makes a difference. Your mood is better. Your mindset is clear. You've just dumped your entire day of workload and everything you left at the door. You don't bring that into your home, because you want to build that home on rock, not sand. And the more crap and the more things that you bring inside, the more you are just allowing the things of the outer life and the negativity to flow into your home. And guys, everything starts in your home. And guess what? Your mind. So back to what I was saying, allowing yourself to understand, like, okay, I am allowing myself 30 minutes a day, whether it's building your business. I have so many people that I know that are stay-at-home moms or executives and just want an extra stream of income or want to build time flexibility. So I have this conversation, like, you cannot use time. If you want more time flexibility, and that is your why, you cannot use your why as your why not, because you're always going to feel like you're running out of time. And living in that place and performing from that place and trying to do anything from that place where you're constantly worried or constantly anxious that you're running out of time isn't good, and it isn't fun. And most people won't be able to function like that for their whole lives. Right? So it becomes totally unproductive. So remember my story that I told you that, I went from working a full-time career to working for myself full-time. I felt like that first month was a big transition period, a big one. But what did I have? That's what you need to write down. What do I have right now? What are my current circumstances? What is your list of things that you prioritize every single day, and how much time do you allow it? Right? So I just started, doing things that would make up for that quote unquote time that I needed to be clocked in for my own business hours. And I started to quickly see that it was actually making me feel worse, because even though, yes, I was getting things done around my house, I wasn't really focused on the main thing that I needed to focus on to make sure that I allowed myself to have success in a part of my business or career that I wanted. So that's where then you fall into mom guilt, because you're trying to handle this, you're trying to handle that, but imagine if you allowed yourself and you scheduled yourself and you planned ahead of time, some family time, and you planned some leisure time. But then you also learn how to plan some time for your marriage, some date nights, some business hours. I learned this, you guys, from experience, right? From hitting my head up against the wall, as most people say. But I've also learned that I took it from impossible to impossible. I am possible. It is possible. We are possible. This is possible. So you have to go from you have to stop thinking that time is your problem. That is not the problem. The problem is how you handle the problem. And right now, maybe you're not doing the best, but it doesn't mean that you can't work towards it to be your best in the circumstances that you have. And you have to learn to accept those circumstances wherever you are in life right now. I don't mean settle for them. I mean, take it for what it is. Allow yourself to say, I won't be here next month. I won't be here 6 months from now. I will sure not be here at this time next year. And get yourself into action. So what did I have when I decided to, give myself all this extra time? I had a work ethic and I had discipline. So I knew if I just learned basic things that I could utilize every single day, my business would be different. And it sure was. And I started to understand that it doesn't matter if you're given 30 hours a week or you're given 3 hours a week to build a business, to build your marriage, to learn certain skills, to, study for a certain thing that you have to do, right? That you have to learn how to better manage your mindset, yourself, within that time that you're allowing yourself. Because if they give you more time, it's not going to matter. You're not going to know what to do with it. If anything, you're going to stress out more. You're going to worry more. You're going to feel worse because now you decided that, you have all this extra time, but you don't know what to do with it. But imagine if you disciplined yourself in the small, in those 3 hours, 4, 5, 6 hours a week that maybe you're allowing to clock in to build your side business. Maybe you're allowing yourself to build upon your marriage. Maybe you're allowing yourself these 6 hours. Guys, 6 hours. 6 hours a week. For most people, 4 hours a week. I want to break this down for you. 4 hours a week. 4 workouts a week. 1 hour a day. You get to choose which days. 24 hours in one day. And I'm asking you to work on yourself. 1 hour a week in the physical. But if you really want to shoot and you really want to work 7 hours, 1 hour a day to self-love, and that it includes whatever it is that you want, a bubble bath, reading a positive book, watching a motivational video, picking up something for 1 hour, 60 minutes. Imagine how much your life could potentially get better if you allow that of yourself. Now you're like, well, you don't know my life. I'm a single mom. I have so many kids. I have a busy schedule. Where am I going to find the time? You're going to have to learn to make the time. Sometimes maybe you have to go to bed earlier. You have to allow your mind to not just be in this hustle and grind. Because trust me, I know. I told myself, no matter what now, I'm at a stage in my life that no matter what now, I have to at least get 6 hours of sleep. If I can function from 5, but if I do any less, I'm just not the same. I'm not the same mom. I'm not the same wife. I'm not the same businesswoman. I'm not the same friend. So how can I possibly accept that for my life? You have to stop thinking that time is your problem, and you have to stop accepting that certain things are just going to be like that forever. Yes, you can accept your circumstances. You can accept your life. You can accept that maybe it's temporary, that your kids are going to be babies. So you are going to be lacking sleep for a little bit. I get it. Broken sleep sucks. I did it for a long time and we have 4 kids. But that's temporary. When you can accept that that is temporary and you are working to be your best and you are learning how to rest and refresh and you are learning that you are willing to make the time, you start to be more present. You start to decide that those 4 hours a week for the physical, right? This is just, I'm talking about maybe getting a workout in, going for a walk, going for a swim, doing some yoga. You decide that those 4 hours you're going to have success in, that you're going to block everything out, that you're going to focus, that you're going to be present. And 6 months from now, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to be like, who is this person? That's the person that you've been wanting to become. And that's the person that you can be right now. You just have to learn how to implement what I'm trying to tell you. Managing your mind is, you have to understand, for me, I had to go from a mindset of selling. I was so scared to start my business, you guys. Why? Because I told myself, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're a part of my team and you're like, girl, I feel you, and I was scared too, or I want to join your team and whatever, or someone, you want to join someone, and you're so scared, you're like, I don't want to sell anything. But imagine if you went from a mindset of selling to a mindset of serving. How can I serve myself today? How can I serve other people? How can I give out more value? How can I be not just knowledgeable, but applying that so it can help someone else? Because I'm telling you now, collaboration is so much better than competition. So what happens when you decide that you are going to have success with that time that you give yourself? Well, how do you do that? You come up with a plan the night before. You tell yourself, these are my priorities tomorrow. Will it always fall that way? No, especially if you have kids. It won't always be that way. Like my kids, I'm so surprised that they are still asleep at this time. But I said, this is a perfect time for me to record because I was going to do it today anyway. it allows you, when you come up with a plan, you wake up different. You're like, I know my plan for the day. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to get done. Let's get it done. Now, if it doesn't go your way, you can't let that plan fall to the hip just because the time is different. The goals don't change even if the time frame does. Your circumstances are where they are, so you just have to stop wishing that they were different. Because you're going to use this valuable 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours a week, wishing and hoping that your circumstances were different. And you're spending that time focused on that. Remember, what is delayed isn't denied. So maybe you're building your business and you want more for yourself and you see yourself and you see the abundance. But you have to be willing to do in the small so you can harvest in the bigger and in the abundance. Ask yourself, where is my focus today? What is my focus right now? Where can I improve in this moment in time? And you have to understand that your mindset, you have to be willing to build those habits. You have to be willing to, we all have bad habits that we bring into anything, a marriage, a relationship, into our business. It's just the way that it is. We are all human. So don't feel bad. Have some grace over yourself. Now, how are you going to start replacing those habits? Maybe you're not an organized person. Maybe you're too organized. Ask yourself, where can I be present? What is my list? Now, I'm going to give you one last tip, and I hope that this helps you, and I hope that you guys do it because it goes with the will do and will stop list. I will stop binge eating because I let my emotions get in the way. How will you stop doing that? Because you can tell yourself all day and all of a sudden, boom, something triggers it and you're going to go binge eat, right? Now, I'm not a doctor, right? But this is just kind of what helped me when I was eating junk food at night. I made sure that my pantry was clean. I made sure that I cleaned it out. I made sure that I made it a family affair to say, let's replace these with healthy snacks. So I didn't give myself any other choice, but trained myself to say, you know what? I don't need this. And then I became more self-aware of my feelings. I became more self-aware of my emotions. I became more self-aware of why maybe I wanted to have, some junk food at night or something like that. I realized that I was awake for a long time, that I would wake up super early running on 5 hours, 4 hours, and I would stay up really, really late. It wasn't necessary for what I was trying to build because I couldn't build it when I wasn't giving myself enough time to rest. We need it. It's required. It's part of the human life and process. And until you finally realize and take those steps, then everything else is going to be like you're running on E all the time. So again, let's take it back to the initial thing. Allow yourself to say, time is not going to be the reason why I can't build ... What is that for you today? Your business, your marriage, your life, a relationship, something that you're a project that you started that you're trying to finish. Don't allow that of yourself. Now, for some people, they don't like deadlines. However, set some timers. On my will-do list today, I told myself I was going to work out. 60-minute timer, 30-minute timer. And when that timer starts, you better go. You better give it everything you have. The same thing goes for your business, for what you have to do, for a test, for a project. And then you stop. It's like I tell my kids, it's chore time. And guess what, you guys? I set the alarm. I set a chore 30 minutes to an hour. And when that stops, we stop what we're doing. And my kids literally have programmed themselves to be like, I just have to get it done. And now they're at a point where they just do it before the timer. Because they know, okay, we're focused. We're not trying to multitask. We're not trying to do this and that. We're focused on the task at hand, and you're much more productive. So I hope that this served you. I hope that you utilize it. I hope that you apply it. And if it did, you guys, tag me. You guys know where to find me. You know all of my social media handles. And if you don't, definitely go over to my Instagram or my Facebook. And it's the same as my last name here on this podcast. So I am hoping that this has served you in a season of your life right now where you need it the most. And understand what is delayed isn't denied. But you have to get into the mindset that time shouldn't and is not and will not be the reason why you can't build ...